Imagine a modern map of the United States that abruptly ends somewhere in the dense forests of Ohio. No Wild West, no Texas, no California, and no neon lights of Las Vegas. Instead, in the very heart of the North American continent, thrives a powerful, technologically advanced, and proud civilization of indigenous peoples. A state where skyscrapers are woven into the canopies of ancient forests, and the national flag features a bald eagle, not as a symbol of a distant empire, but as the living spirit of a free land. This is not a plot from a fantasy novel. This was a real chance that history held at the beginning of the 19th century. Why was this chance lost? And what would our world look like in 2026 if the Native Americans had not only survived but triumphed? That is our story for today. But before we unlock the mystery of the prophecy of Tecumseh, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Your support is the fuel for our journeys through time. We travel back to the year 1811. The young American Republic, like a hungry predator, is aggressively expanding westward. To the settlers, these lands are merely empty spaces to be plowed. But for dozens of tribes, this is a sacred home where their ancestors rest. However, the tragedy of the indigenous peoples lay in their disunity. Tribes had fought each other for centuries, allowing the U.S. government to manipulate them, buying vast territories for pennies, step by step forcing the people into the unknown. That was until he stepped onto the historical stage. Tecumseh, a leader of the Shawnee tribe, a man of icy calm and fiery words. He was not just a warrior. He was a brilliant geopolitical strategist. Tecumseh understood the ultimate truth. Alone, they would be broken like thin twigs, but together, they would become an unbreakable wall. Tecumseh began an impossible mission. He covered thousands of miles, traveling from the cold Great Lakes to the sunny Gulf of Mexico. He spoke before councils of chiefs who previously could not sit by the same fire, convincing them the land belongs to all of us together or to none of us. His dream was a great Indian confederation, a fully fledged state that would force Washington and London to reckon with its power. In our reality, Tecumseh fell in battle in 1813 and his union collapsed, opening the way for the Trail of Tears. But let's change history. Imagine that during the decisive Battle of Tippecanoe, the American forces suffer a crushing defeat. Tecumseh survives, and his authority becomes unquestionable. Britain, exhausted at the time by the war with Napoleon, sees in Tecumseh's confederation an ideal chance to create a buffer state that will forever halt American expansion to the north and west. Under a peace treaty in 1814, the state of Tecumseh is established, an officially recognized republic spanning the territories of present-day Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. This fundamentally changes the face of our planet. Without access to the boundless resources of the prairies and the gold mines of California, the United States never becomes a superpower. They remain a group of small coastal states, focused on internal conflicts and trade, but stripped of imperial ambitions. A world without a powerful America is a world where the geopolitical scales are shifted forever. What would this indigenous metropolis look like today in 2026? It would be a unique example of ecological modernism. Instead of copying the European path of concrete destruction, the state of Tecumseh builds cities integrated into ecosystems. Imagine Chicago, which in this reality is called Chicagua. It is not a city of metal skyscrapers, but a vast garden metropolis where architecture is inspired by the forms of rocks and trees. Thanks to the alliance with Britain, they gained access to industrial technologies as early as the 19th century, but they used them differently. Instead of oil dependency, the Confederation develops solar and water energy, considering the sun their elder brother. Here, a completely different ethic prevails. The concept of private land ownership does not exist. The land is a collective gift, and anyone who uses it is obligated to leave it better than they found it. The economy is based not on endless consumption, but on balance. Imagine high-speed maglev trains gliding silently through dense primeval forests where million-strong herds of bison still roam freely. A world without Hollywood, without the dominance of the dollar, but with a deep respect for every living creature. A representative of the Confederation today could be a key figure in global diplomacy, offering a path of harmony that we, in our reality, have almost lost in the pursuit of GDP figures. The story of Tecumseh is a dark but majestic reminder that one person with a great idea can change the direction of all humanity. It just so happens that in our timeline, the empire was luckier than the leader's great idea. Could such an ecological state have survived the crucible of world wars? Would it have been a primary enemy or a savior for the rest of civilization? That question remains open, and your thoughts in the comments will help us find the answer. If you enjoy these journeys into worlds where history took a different path, subscribe. Ahead of us are stories of a world without nuclear weapons and of an America discovered not by Europeans, but by the fleet of a Chinese emperor. See you in the next episode of Alternate Reality.